Warning: the following video is raw and unscripted. Ranting and rambling may occur. Viewer discretion is advised.
Don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Josh from Nightmare on Woodsboro Lake. Thank you for joining me for my first 10-minute review, where I will try to just review a film in 10 minutes rather than an hour or half an hour even. I've had quite the long reviews, so we're going to try to shorten things up today. We are visiting a film that I've seen quite a numerous amount of times, but it's been a while. And I am talking about Freddy versus Jason. I know that movie did not hit the mark for a lot of people, but I have a lot of fond memories of that film, and watching it again this evening only just confirmed how I enjoy it for being the campy crossover that it was. The movie was initially released in 2003, directed by Ronnie Yu, who also did the movie Bride of Chucky. And it was produced by Sean S. Cunningham, featuring our famous and always lovable Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Sorry, it's like 1 in the morning, or a little after 1, almost 2. So if I'm not all there, then that's why. So yeah, we've got Robert Englund returning in his iconic role as Freddy Krueger, and we have Ken Kernsinger as Jason, which, I think he did a relatively good job as Jason in this film. His mannerisms seem to be pretty on point, and just his lumbering big presence was really good on screen, and just the brutality of his kills and in the fight sequences. I mean, I think he did pretty good. So, our main cast consists of Kelly Rowland, from a relatively well-known group, Destiny's Child, with Beyonce back in the day. You've got Christopher Marquette as Linderman, who is this total kind of dweeb in the movie who has a crush on our main character. I always enjoyed him. He's been in a couple other films that I really like The Girl Next Door and Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds. He always plays a pretty funny character. This one, he was a little laid back as a character. He wasn't his usual quirky and comedic self, but good nonetheless. You have our main final girl, Monica Keena, who plays Lori, and our whole movie, aside from the huge face-off, tends to revolve around her and her friend circle. Jason Ritter, who I've seen in quite a few films, plays her estranged fling who ends up being put in a psychiatric unit by Laurie's father, because he witnessed something insane, um, which I'll get into that in just a moment. We'll cover that as we go. You have his best friend Mark, who is also locked up in the psychiatric unit. He is played by Brendan Fletcher. I've seen him in quite a few films as well. I think he's a pretty great actor as well. And then you have Catherine Isabel, who plays her friend Gib. Very well known actress. She's been in quite a few films. The main one that I remember her from is Ginger Snaps, the werewolf film. But yeah, she is one of Laurie's other best friends. So you've got Kelly Rowland and Catherine Isabel playing her two best friends in this film. So, to sum this up real quick, last we leave Freddie. He was sent to hell and forgotten about. So he is wanting to obviously get revenge and become relevant again, in a matter of speaking. So if you notice at the end of Friday the 13th, part 8, no, that was part 9. No. Holy shit, I'm mixed up now. Part 7 was The New Blood. Wait, was Jason Takes Manhattan was after that. So, part 9. The final Friday. At the end of that film, you see Freddy's claw come up and pull Jason's mask under. So, they were setting up for this film way before we got this movie. But so Freddy enlists the help of Jason through a little bit of trickery. He poses as Pamela Voorhees to get him to go to Elm Street and start killing kids and kind of spreading fear again. So they'll all, assume it's him, and then he'll be strong enough to really start doing damage on his own. Well, this is Jason we're talking about, so that gets out of hand real quick, and Freddy gets real fucking pissed about it, obviously, because he can't control Jason like he hoped, and Jason is pretty much like killing off all these teenagers. I mean, some of my favorite scenes are with Jason in this film for sure. I mean, he is one of my favorite characters, aside from just the persona of Ghostface, because, he's different people in every film, so I can't just be like, yeah, Ghostface is my favorite character when it's more than one person. But you've got, like, the whole party rave scene, like, him on fire in the fields, and then like coming in and just cleaning house with all these teenagers. I really enjoyed Jason bursting through in one of the final fight scenes of the film. Though, I said that one of my favorite like scenes was Freddy, when Jason wakes up and is sucked out of the dream world, and Freddy's like pissed, and he looks up at Laura and he's like, "You," and he comes out of the water and he's just like this red, like this deep red, and his like burns are more prominent. I think that's one of like the best looks I've seen for Freddy, aside from Wes Craven's new Nightmare version of Freddy. I thought that one was way badass too. But just that scene, like the lighting, the dark tone of that, and just like him looking just like the most pissed off dream demon like you've ever seen. I thought that was an awesome sequence. But you've got to take this movie with a grain of salt. and enjoy it for what it is. I know people probably expected more of this film, but for it being like a campy crossover, where we get two like huge titans of terror from the 80s, like pitted against each other, I think they did a pretty solid job. And, pair that with like an awesome soundtrack, you kind of get this feeling of, both their backstories a little bit. Freddie more than Jason, but I mean, oh, I've hit the 10-minute mark. Shit. Let's shoot for a 15-minute video. I take it back. This is a 15-minute review now because I'm not done. So, we're more focused on Freddie in this film. And Jason kind of takes a sidecar, but just seeing like, like there's the whole sequence where Freddie pulls him in the dream world and he's like, and dig a little deeper, and he like sticks his claw into his brain and kind of sees like Jason out at Camp Crystal Lake and him disposing of bodies and just kind of like, what his life has become. And I really enjoyed like the scene like that, and like that opening scene where Jason, like, you have him tracking down this girl, stabs her in the tree, and like the it shape shifts and stuff, because this is Freddy pretty much essentially, tricking Jason into doing his dirty work. But I really enjoyed those sequences. Like, I love anything I can get of Jason. Like, I love all the fan films that are out there, and I love all the movies in the original series. I mean, as cheesy as some of them get, he's like my favorite, He's just like this big, like, unstoppable, brutal killing machine. I mean, I'm going to catch more flack. This video, I'm going to catch a lot of flack. I enjoy him a lot more than Michael Myers. Don't get me wrong. I like Michael Myers, especially in the last few films. He really stepped it up, and he is just badass as fuck. But Jason will always take number one spot for me. So you've got like these awesome sequences, great cinematography. Characters were decent, some of them did better than others, and pair that with an awesome soundtrack. I mean, we get, Spine Shank, we get Kill Switch Engage. In the ending credits, we get El Nino. I love El Nino. That song that's in the end actually got me into that band. And then I actually downloaded like all their albums like way back in the day. Like, we're talking like my freshman year in high school, and I'm turning 31 now. So I've been listening to them for a hot minute now. But I thought it was a fantastic soundtrack to pair it up with this movie. Like, that opening scene with like playing Spine Shank was fucking phenomenal. But yeah, this is just a fun film. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people talk shit about it all day long, up and down, like, they could have done a better job, with Freddy vs. Jason was pretty shitty in my opinion. I've heard that all the day, like all the time. So, but people don't really appreciate it for what it is, and that's just a fun, campy horror film crossover uniting two iconic characters into one world. And when you look at it that way, it's quite enjoyable. I definitely enjoyed the final fight scene, and then like how Jason and Freddy are just like fucking each other up in the end, and like, Jason's getting stabbed with his own machete, and Laurie ends up decapitating Freddy, and Jason stabs Freddie through his back and all the way through his chest with his own claw, and it's just like these guys are just going till the end, you know, like they're essentially unstoppable. And you know that ending really left an opening, obviously, for a sequel, and I don't know if we'll ever get that. I mean, look at it. It's 2003 that film came out, and we're in 2022. You know, that's a whole 19 fucking years since that movie has come out. Oh shit, we're at the 15-minute mark. Well, let's wrap this up. If I was to rate this film for what it is, you know, and how much I enjoyed as a campy horror flick, you know, I would easily give this between a 6 and a 7 on the scale. Could some of it have been better? Yes. I mean, runtime wasn't too long, so I mean, you can only fit so much in there. Everybody knows their backstory, so I mean, I can't really blame them for not going too deep into it. Like, you know, you've got a little more on Freddie, like in that whole intro where, you know, he talks about like his past pretty much, and like going from being like this child murderer and essentially molester, and segueing into how, you know, they killed him and he became something much, much worse. And then his legacy as this dream demon, and just this terror that he's unleashed on Elm Street, and before being defeated and forgotten. But I mean, despite all the flaws, it's a fun movie. It's a fun watch. If you guys haven't seen it at all, it's worth one watch at least. I mean, give it a chance. I mean, holy shit though, if you haven't watched it and it's been out since 2003 and you're supposedly a horror fan, where the fuck have you been? um, I know I'm saying that. I'm talking out my mouth here, like ranting and raving like I usually do. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun to revisit tonight, and like I said, I'll give it about a 6 to 7 out of 10. Robert Englund nailed Freddie as always with his wisecracking antics, and just like, you know, being this mouthy ass dream demon. And like I said, Ken Kersinger did a damn good job at being Jason. I enjoyed it, and you know, it is in my collection, and you know, I'll watch it from time to time. I know it's been a while since I watched it last, but you know, I do really enjoy it. It's just fun when it's like a Saturday or Friday night and you just want to pop in a fun flick. It delivers. So those are my thoughts on it. I'd like to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below. Let me know. What do you think of this film? I mean, can you appreciate it for what it is, or were you expecting more? You know, where did it lack? Where did it succeed? You know, do you think this movie has aged well, or just kind of been a flop and, you know, is way past its expiration date? I'd really just like to hear what everybody else thinks. I mean, I can sit here and talk till my face turns blue about this movie, but, you know, I'd love to hear what other people's opinions are as well. Yeah. All right. Well, that about sums it up. I didn't give you a whole play-by-play of the film like I have in the past, which is good. You know, I just threw my thoughts out there. It's like a monkey flinging shit. You know, good kills, good cinematography, good atmosphere, fucking wicked soundtrack. and quite a way to bring two iconic characters together. All right. Well, hey guys, I would really appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe, and join my little Nightmare on Woodsboro Lake family. I always like making new friends and sharing all my love of horror with you guys. So, yeah, definitely means a lot to me. Alright, guys, I'm going to attempt to go to sleep. I hope you all have a good evening, and I'll catch you guys later.